Now today I'm going to show you our oldest car in this collection here, a Buick from 1951. And this model is called Buick Special Deluxe Sedan, third generation, which was built from 1949 to 1953. And within those 5 years, they made some interesting changes. One of them being in 1951, and therefore this car having the first new build engine since 1937. A very cool feature and characteristic for this model was the curved trimline running almost the length of the car. This was a styling cue from the 40s through the 70s called sweep spear. First introduced as an option in the 1949 Buick Roadmaster Rivera, it became standard from 1951 for all Buicks. The sweep spear, also noticed in the Jaguar XK120, starts over the front wheel, gently curved down across the front fender and door, goes up over the rear wheel and ends in a straight line to the taillights. Now it also had a use to separate two colors in a two-tone car, and over time the sweep spear became stainless steel, a vinyl strip, and then simply the character line in the sheet metal. Another big feature of Buicks has always been the use of chrome as part of the body style. And in research of this car, I actually found out that the government prohibited the use of chrome on cars in 1942, which forced Buick to drop a number of body styles, and most trim was actually painted. And maybe that's why they use even more chrome in the later models like this, with such an enormous front grille and chrome parts all over the body. Now another interesting feature of this car is how you start it. But since we're in Germany and German people like to have it simple, we changed the wiring. So in this case you just have to turn the key around and press this button to start the engine. But when we got the car initially from the States, the way to start it was like this. You had to turn around the key, which starts the ignition, and then you had to push the gas pedal, which then fired up the engine. And that's pretty special because I have never seen this way of starting an engine before in any other car. What's also cool about this car is the rawness of the interior. You have an enormous seating area in the front, a big seating area in the back, and the only word to describe the dashboard is simple. It's really just switches for your heater, lights, ventilation, defroster in the middle, and every passenger has his own ashtray, and the steering wheel is really the size of an actual wheel. Some quirks in this car are that every door has actually two windows, which you can both control. And both passengers in the front have their own hood release, which means if the driver pulls his hood release, the hood opens in one direction. If the passenger pulls his hood release, the hood opens the other direction. And if you're sitting in the passenger seat, you'll notice an instrument looking just like a speedometer in front of you, which is funny because this has actually no use at all. It only shows you drive safely, Buick 8. Last but not least, the history of this car comes a long and special way. It's still in its original paint. So in 1951, approximately 999 cars were made and a few of them survived. But to be in its original paint without any repaint over the last 70 plus years is as rare as it can get. Also, this car served as a state patrol car in the 70s, and one of the coolest things is it has still all the original service stickers from the 60s and 70s. So thank you for watching our special Buick from 1951. See you next time.